UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Today is November 9th. This is our weekly UFO update. Lead story today, Marco Rubio. That's talking about UAPs and UFOs. We'll get into that and so much more. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor, Noble Gold. Things are getting tough out there. Inflation is at 8.2%, and it's just getting worse. And we're not all that great with money, are we? At times like these, you need a trusted partner to look after you and make sure you'll be okay. Noble Gold is the team you want on your side. Keep your money safe and grab an incredible free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin when you open your qualifying IRA account with them this month for over 20 grand. Folks, money is broken. Everything's getting more expensive. The government seems to be losing control, and the Fed just makes things worse by raising the interest rate. Trying to get decent returns on your savings is driving you nuts. Sound familiar? Noble Gold gets it. Completely focused on honesty and education. Their crack team of precious metal experts have helped thousands of worried investors like you to build and preserve wealth through times like these. Folks, my wife and I have invested with Noble Gold. So, they're our go-to precious metal people. By giving you direct contact with a single dedicated professional, you get exclusive free access to that help with no hassle or call centers to deal with. Find out why precious metals and IRAs are the answer to inflation and financial worry. Give the team at Noble Gold a call and join the others who have taken advantage of their offer. They'll guide you through the process and make it easy for you. Folks, this month, they're gifting a stunning free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with every qualified IRA above 20 grand. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347, or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. So today is November 9th, a day that will live in infamy, at least in our household. 4 years ago to the day, our house burned in the Santa Monica Mountains. We lost everything. For me, my greatest loss were two things. The pictures of the kids growing up, which unfortunately they weren't digitized. See ya. And of course, my library, which was very extensive. And I can't recreate either of those. You just can't. It's lost forever. People have sent me books, and I thank you for that, on UFOs and other books that were in my library at one time. But alas, many of those books, there was like a certain section specifically for the whole UFO research, and they were dog-eared and highlighted and notes on the back and paperclip things and all sorts of stuff, and you can't recreate that. And at almost 72 years old, I'm not about to try. But let's get right into it. Marco Rubio's modus operandi. Inside Marco Rubio's quest to expose the truth about UFOs after Senator battled for Congress to get an answer. You'll find this very interesting. Stay with me here. Lawmakers have begun to search for the truth behind UFO sightings. Really? Saying that Congress should focus on what could be a huge national security issue. So that's how they're couching it. They're couching it as a threat. And frankly, when UFOs appear over airports with impunity, that does pose a threat. They're not obeying our laws, are they? They come and go as they please, hence the word impunity. Senator Marco Rubio is among the growing list of elected officials breaking their silence on the controversial issue of unidentified aerial phenomena in an effort to take control of the U.S. skies. So this whole article is slanted one way, and I'll weigh in on it just a little bit. Of the 144 reports we are dealing with here, he's talking about the last year in June, I believe, they released the big 9-page report about UFOs. So out of the 144, only one of them they discounted. So you got 143 UAPs or UFOs, and they have no answer to what these things are, flying around with impunity in our skies. So, of the 144 reports we are dealing with here, we have no clear indications that there is any non-terrestrial explanation for them. but we will go wherever the data takes us, a senior U.S. official said. The unidentified objects could be espionage assets used by adversaries of the U.S., which means the abundant phenomena in the sky prove alarming for how up-to-date the country is on foreign espionage tactics. Once again, threat, threat, threat. Maybe it's the Chi-Coms doing that. Chi-Coms don't have anything like this. Certainly the Russians do not, nor does anyone else. The lack of information spurred Rubio to urge U.S. officials to take these unexplained sightings more seriously. He told CBS 60 Minutes last year that investigating aircraft from foreign powers or other civilizations should be given more time and resources. Senator Rubio said, I want us to take it seriously and have a process to take it seriously. So does that mean anything is done? Probably not. This is from The Hill. Pro and anti-UFO factions in the government, it wouldn't be the first time. So there's sections of a government that, we don't have to talk about this, and others that are going, we need to deal with it. Pentagon attributes UFO sightings to spies and airborne trash. We talked about this last week. This is the official doublespeak, what I finally term as the Texas two-step, because that's what it is. It's like, nothing to see here, keep moving. These are not the droids you're looking for, and on it goes. Moving right along. The image from the video provided by the Department of Defense labeled Gimbal from 2015, an unexplained object is seen at the center as it soars high along the clouds, traveling against the wind. There's a whole fleet of them, one naval aviator tells another, though only one indistinct object is shown. It's rotating. The U.S. government has been taking a hard look at unidentified flying objects under orders from Congress, and a report summarizing what officials know is expected to come out June 2021. So this is really old news, but that was from the AP. So here's my I've been all that to get to this, okay? Why hasn't Marco Rubio and other government officials demanded to see what is happening at Area 51, or for that matter, what is stored at Wright-Patterson Field? Let that just linger in the air before I weigh in. Why haven't they done anything? Why hasn't Congress, having trouble speaking today, don't ask me why. Maybe it's because of the election results last night. Why hasn't Congress, you've got senators, you've got elected officials, by the people, for the people, nonsense. If that was only true. Why can't they just go, okay, you goons at Area 51, we're coming in 48 hours, we want to know what's in there. They don't do that, do they? Why is that? Why is it that everything Area 51 is top secret? Why is the stuff that's stored at Wright-Pat, why can't the American people see it? Why? Why can't Marco Rubio knock on the front gate of Wright-Pat and go, hey, I'm here, and have a dozen other senators and some other people, we want to see what's going on in Hangar 18, or whatever it is. So this is incredibly bothersome to me, because if they really wanted to get to the truth, they could do that. They've got the power, they've got the means, or do they? Or is it just all smoke and mirrors? And this is why many of us in ufology and alternative news look at this and realize Marco Rubio and this whole thing is a smoke and mirror game. It's like they really don't want to get to the bottom of it, but they'll get up there and, blah, 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 as Karl Rove calls it, kabuki theater, because that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. They're really not interested in getting down to what's happening. Bob Lazar, as many of you know, I've talked about this numerous times. Bob Lazar worked at Area 51. He went on the record, and that kept him alive, because he's being followed, his car was tapped, and phone was tapped, and the whole 9 yards, okay? And Lazar maintained that he worked on propulsion system, back engineering for these so-called alien craft. Now, you and I know that these are not extraterrestrial systems that are reticulon. These are interdimensional entities whose mission is to deceive, be like the days of Noah. But I digress. So the question is, why hasn't Marco and other government officials, said, we want answers, and we want answers now. You've got 48 hours. 48 hours, that's it. In fact, why can't they just show up with, a cadre of armed forces and generals and Pentagon officials? They can't, because there seems to be the government that we see and something else behind the curtain that we never see. But I'm just saying, Then we've got this show, and I've talked about this before. This is Abby Hornacek on Fox News talking about alien abductions. So, and I'm not making this up. This is Fox News. This is why our new film, which is number 4, coming out, and Gil will be up here. He worked till 1:30 in the morning on the editing, and I'm working on it feverishly. We're really trying to pump this thing out. We will have it before Thanksgiving. The abduction phenomenon is real, and the breeding program is real. What's happening? For this cause God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. We are on the cusp of this ancient prophetic text from 2 Thessalonians, okay? Ancient prophetic text, written almost 2,000 years ago, talking about the coming, what I call the coming great deception, because frankly, that's what this is. And it will turn the entire world on its head. The religions of the world will crumble, including Christianity, because when they show up, everything changes. They will say, so-called ET, our space brothers will say, they created all life on this planet. They genetically manipulated early man. They started the world's first civilizations and the world's religions. Now, at this critical juncture, they are back to usher mankind into a golden age. I talked about this on several shows this week that I was on, and I'm on another one Through the Black tonight at 8 o'clock, just so you know, with Tom Dunn and Vicki Joy Anderson. That will be fun. But I've talked about this all week, that there's a saying I coined several years ago: we go up, they come down; we go up, they show up. And of course, I'm talking about the pre-tribulation rapture. And right away, some of you go, oh my gosh, LA, Darby invented that. No, Darby did not invent that. The early church fathers talked about it. Do your homework. Don't take my word. Check out Lee Brainerd's book. But anyway, check out Lee Brainerd's book because he's written about it. And it's very, very interesting. And he's got all sorts of quotes from the early church fathers, Ephraim the Syrian, for one, talking about the pre-tribulation rapture of the church. So it's not something that Darby invented. It was something that was sort of rediscovered, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, like the Book of Enoch, which lay dormant until Charles basically translated it. We in the West didn't really know too much about it. Now we do. Now it's available online. See the way those things go? Remember, we came through 1,000 years of dark ages here. And until Gutenberg and the printing press, the common man didn't read the Bible, didn't read the guidebook of the supernatural. It was not available to the masses. That's only what, 400 years ago or something? Gutenberg and the crew. So, we're in modernity, so knowledge has increased, and that exponentially. This is the lie. It'll be like the days of Noah. What differentiates the days of Noah are the presence of the B'nai Elohim, which of course are the fallen angelic hosts, commingling of the seed. What about Daniel chapter 2? How do we wrap our heads around that? That their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to them. I keep talking about that because it's so important. It's in our Bibles. It's prophecy that's right there in front of your face. Turn to chapter 2 in the book of Daniel. Oh, Daniel, by the way, seal up the book until the time of the end. Men will run to and fro over the face of the earth. Knowledge will increase. There you go. We're here. Now it's an unsealed book. Who are they? Goes back to Genesis 3:15, which is why I keep harping on that. Unless we understand Genesis 3:15, we never have a clue to the rest of the biblical prophetic narrative, in my opinion. So the late David Flynn posited this, and I talked to David about this before he passed away, because I never met him, but we would call each other and converse and talk shop, essentially. And he actually reached out to me when the very first book of the Nephilim trilogy was published. And, we began a friendship. And unfortunately, he passed away several years ago now, over a decade ago, I think. It's amazing how just fast life goes, but I digress. But the late David Flynn posited that there would be some sort of a nuclear event on the planet which would trigger the revealing of the so-called extraterrestrial presence. Just think about this. Now we're hearing saber rattling from Russia, from different governments in Europe, talking about the threat of tactical nukes or some sort of a nuke being used. Could it be that we will see something? And remember, if something like that happens, God forbid, the entire grid will be lit up. What I mean by that, the internet, the entire media, the media, which the satellites, everything will be linked up. All we will see 24/7 is that nuke and the aftermath of it and the destruction, because they can zoom right in with a satellite. They can fix the satellite over that site, and that's what we'll see. And that's all we will be looking at. That's the perfect time for the Space Brothers to show up. And they will say that we created all life on this planet. Now we're here to usher mankind into a golden age. Just saying, strong delusion? You tell me. There it is, 2,000-year-old prophecy in the Word, in the Bible. For this cause God shall send them a strong delusion. I call that the coming great deception, that they shall believe a lie. Ellie, I just watched UFO Disclosure for the second time. Thank you so much for all you have done in life. You are a bastion of Christianity. Thank you so much, Gordon. There's number 3. You can check it out. You can go to streaming.lamarzulli.net, streaming.lamarzulli.net, and avail yourself of all 3 videos. Number 4 will come out before Thanksgiving. We're excited by it. Thanks so much for praying for us. We're up against some spiritual warfare. Surprise, surprise, surprise. The dragon does not like what we say. The dragon does not like the fact that we're pulling back the covers on his agenda. Our mission statement is to expose the deception of the prince of the power of the air and to herald the return of the King, Jesus. That is our mission statement right here on Spiral of Life, and we try to do that in all the shows. Okay, today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Questions with LA. If you've got questions, I have answers. Just call me Mr. Know-It-All. Remember that on Rocky and Bullwinkle? You can't find that cartoon except on YouTube. But they had a little segment called Mr. Know-It-All. And I am not Mr. Know-It-All. I'm just saying that, of course, tongue-in-cheek. But I will try to answer your questions to the best of my knowledge. We will do that on tomorrow's show, Questions with LA. Of course, Friday, another Supernatural Confrontations. You will not want to miss this one. Unbelievable, through the roof. And it's about abductions. Let's go back to Abby. It's about abductions. This woman was abducted numerous times. She was forced to have intercourse. She lost her baby. It's classic. It's classic stuff. Anyway, folks, thanks so much for watching. Please keep us in prayer. Number 4 is in post-production. We might have it done by the weekend. And Gil Zimmerman's coming up here tomorrow. And we'll be working all Thursday and all Friday on it. We're that close to getting it done. In my opinion, this may be the most informative, important film I've ever done, number 4. So I think we have a trailer for that. Please show it, John Adam, our producer here, our editor on all the shows. And remember, if you've got a question, questions at lamarzulli.net, questions at lamarzulli.net. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. Something very dark and disturbing is happening. It is a global phenomenon that knows no boundaries. It adheres to no cultural mores, and the ones who are engaged in this nefarious activity are beyond reproach. People are being taken against their will. In the cover of darkness, in the dead of night, they are subjected to bizarre examinations that are often sexual in nature. These people are terrified, violated, confused, and with no place to turn to, as who would believe them? This is their story.
No heartbeat. Ultrasound, no baby. DNC, no fetal tissue. There's nothing. It was clean. He's like, ma'am, are you sure you were pregnant? I'm like, this is my doctor. You can call her. I was pregnant. He's like, you didn't bleed all night. You don't have, nothing came. I'm like, no, nothing came out of me.